All right, as we move down, you get to see, Fox's Peter Pan of the Pirates complete line, and Stargate, and some Tycho Dungeons and Dragons. Fun line. A line I still need to finish one of these days, but the Stargate vehicles, Congo. Come on, man. I know, it's a horrible line, but seriously, it's spectacularly awful. Look at it. It's glorious. Glorious. They will defeat all of the gorillas. Glorious. That's for the wrestling fans there. Down below, as we go down below, we get my real Ghostbusters and Extreme Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters overall. So a couple of Extreme Ghostbuster figures. I have Kylie and Sam Hain, and then some of the monsters are back there. And I got a couple of the kid armbands that came with the Proton Pack, and then we've got in the firehouse, we've got some more vintage figures and the Ecto from Extreme Ghostbusters down there in the firehouse because it's pretty nice. It's the only Ecto I have, but it's not complete. So we've got some other Ghostbuster items in here. A bunch of figures. It's not a line I actively collect, but I keep coming across different pieces of the line, so I keep going out of my way to find them when I do find them. It's I believe that was the Ghost Popper. I could be wrong. The child-size PKE meter, and some more Ghostbuster items. My original, this VHS tape is actually the original rental copy of Ghostbusters, and it's not one that I had, but I found it, and it's actually in the original rental box, which doesn't have an opening on either side. You actually have to lift the top up and pull the tape out. So that was kind of a cool find for me to find at a Goodwill outlet, actually. We're going to do this at an angle because it's kind of hard for me to get in here, but my Star Yours that I've got, that includes the base and some of the figures. And then down here below is my Stone Protectors. So I've got some fun Stone Protectors figures down there, which was another one of those oddball lines. Hey, look, a 9-volt battery. You'll find that I had batteries laying everywhere, unfortunately. Expanders and Waterworld, which I'm missing a figure from Waterworld, but as you can see, the boat is it's huge. It's a big boat. I mean, look at that thing. It's about the only place I could display said boat because it's so large. We have a show and tell from GE down here, and it's actually, as you can see, there's a record player, and we actually showed this off in a collection video, but of course the record player on top, and there's a little slot down there that you can put strips, and the record and the strips play together on the screen, and the strips change as the record goes. It's a very interesting concept, but this is from the 60s, I believe, late 60s, mid 60s is when that version came out. That's one of the first versions that came out. So we've got some Battle Beasts and some Food Fighters and some Guts, and some of them have fallen, but I'm not going to pick them up, and every time I do, they fall over. So especially him. He keeps tumbling over. So Titan AE, I've got a few Titan AE figures from the Fox animated film from the late 90s. And as you can see, they've fallen. I think they're more, that was more from a certain kitty cat that likes to come down here and her tail likes to hit everything. So that's never a good thing. We're going to start up top here. We are going to start up top and take a look. We've got Baymax and the Big Hero 6 gang, all of them, including the villain. Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars. So I've got a complete lineup of Bucky O'Hare, including all the figures and the vehicle. I've got all the Toxic Crusaders figures, and I think I'm missing one accessory, which is I need a third Toxie grenade, but I've got the Smog Cycle, and I've got the big Windsurfer, which is awesome. Mattel's Hook, so a bunch of the Hook figures, including some of the harder to find Hook figures, including the Crocodile and Learn to Fly Peter, and the Hook right there, and I've got Thudbutt hanging out over there. Some Harry Potter stuff over there. One of the great Air Raiders playsets. Well, the only Air Raiders playset, but the really cool Air Raiders playset. And then over here, got to come around. I'm working around a table here, people. I've got some more Air Raiders and Mattel's short-lived King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Some New Adventures of He-Man stuff, which is awesome. I love the New Adventure stuff. The figures are great. I think all of those are complete except for Earthquake back there. I believe that was his name. Right there back there in the corner. But everyone else is complete. I've got weapons and everything for everyone. So it's a fun line. I like it. I like it a lot. I look a lot. Supernaturals. Of course, let me get around. I get a better view of it here. There we go. There we go. The Supernaturals. See, you can see the holograms there that worked. There we go. Look at that. This little light's awesome. Do you see a change there? Ooh. Oh, it's changing from a bat. Oh, scurry. Supernaturals were great. They came out about the same time as Visionaries. And it was a very short-lived line. I don't have everything. I'm missing a vehicle. I'm missing the wings and his headgear and all that, as well as the other beast. I'm missing the playset, but I've got all the figures. So the figures were a fun little line to find. We got a LJN Indiana Jones there, and a bunch of Silverhawks and E.T. and a Biker Mice from Mars villain. There's a Toy Island RoboCop back there. One of the only Toy Island RoboCops I have. Some Karate Kid figures of Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san. We've got BC Bikers and some Space Jam, as well as some Dino Riders and Bone Age and some more Space Jam. And then we've got some NECA video game stuff, as well as the Dragon's Lair figures. A lot of NECA stuff up there. Skeleton Warriors and the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, as well as Small Soldiers and what is left of my turtle collection. I sold off all of my turtle collection except for these, which, as you can tell, are all the mutating turtles. So and a few oddball items, but I kept all the mutations because I like that segment of the line. But I traded off everything else I had. Down below them and next to the Defenders of the Earth, you get to see the Shadow figures from Kenner, which was another great line. So an entire line of Shadow figures there, as well as all the vehicles, both motorcycles, both cars, all the figures. Let's see, Wildcats and Warriors of Virtue, and oh my gosh, what was the Sylvester Stallone name? Demolition Man. I was drawing a blank there, but the Demolition Man figures are great because some of them share the mold and body, like that one is the New Adventures He-Man body and the armor, which is spectacular. But several of them share the molds for New Adventure figures. Like that is, I believe, Flipshot is the cryo engineer, and that's actually Flipshot's body. So Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, which is another favorite line of mine. Very short-lived. Sad we didn't get to see a second series, but complete line, all the weapons, everybody works. The Karate Corvette with all the little blades back there hiding. Yeah, it's hard to find. It's hard to find complete. Some great Joes from the UK. Action Man. I love the Action Man villains. They're a lot of fun. Nerfles. Everybody, a lot of people, let me get around this table here again. A lot of people don't remember Nerfles. Nerfles was a Nerf product. They were little interchangeable figures that came out in the early 80s. They consisted of a little bouncy Nerf ball head, which isn't squishy, it's rubber, but it bounces. And then the little two-piece bodies that you could switch the hair and the bodies with all the heads, and some of them came with vehicles, there were play sets. It was a lot of fun. Darkwing Duck and Tailspin figures, which are both very hard lines to find. I believe I've got everyone for Tailspin, but I'm missing some accessories. And the Darkwing Duck, those are the only 3 figures I've been able to find over the years that for affordable. Thundercats, my small yet fun Thundercats collection. I love those figures. I really only had Lion-O and Mum-Ra when I was a kid. I didn't have anybody else. Jackalman I might have had, but those were the only 2 I ever got. I remember having as a kid, which is kind of sad. Argo's The Otherworld, and Centurions. So I've got the 3 main heroes and the 1 main villain from Centurions, but I need the other villain I really need the other villain, honestly, complete and loose, and I'll be happy. I don't need all the rest of them, but some cool stuff. These are a lot of Remco. There's Way of the Ninja, I think they were called, and there's, of course, the back rows there are all M-Force, which was not Arco. It was, can't remember the company that did M-Force, but they were horrible, pretty bad knockoff. I mean, look, that one right there, he's supposed to be wearing sunglasses. Those are not sunglasses. And they're pretty racist. Look at the one with the eye patch. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I like them. They're fun. Move down to Hasbro's their own little knockoff line, as I like to call it, Ninja Warriors. I mean, it's a Hasbro line, and they look like a knockoff toy. They seriously do. And this is a Ninja Warriors. These were late 80s, surprisingly. A couple more a Rimco wrestler. I can't remember who that is with the knee pads in the yellow. Somebody will tell me. Let's see, Biker Mice from Mars and Captain Crunch and Ash from Army of Darkness from McFarlane Toys. Definitely dinosaurs and some Ultraverse, some the Addams Family figures. There's a lot of just of random stuff. My Only Sectar that I own, Toy Biz Hulk, Popeye, Highlander, Marty and Croft Super Show, just a Black Star villains and characters, Barnyard Commandos, Bionic 6, my Head Poppin' Mad Balls, which are always fun in the Mad Ball cycle. Mantech, I love Mantech figures. They're so cheesy and awesome and awful, and I love them. They are spectacular. But they're the only three I have, and this one is the only one I have complete. Those two are missing a couple pieces still, but one of these days. I believe the Playmates line for Flash Gordon, which was the animated, might have been a Fox animated series in the late 90s, but they made a whole line, Playmates made a whole line of figures. Of course, they all came with the little skateboard gimmicks that they could ride on, including Ming back there. He's got his own little skateboard. I don't know why, but he came with a little skateboard. They all had the little skateboards, and actually the skateboards can fire out of the car. Like there's a little section that you can that comes out right here, and you put it there, and then when you press the button, it springs forward and it launches the skateboard. Pretty cheesy. Hasbro Cops, my small yet respectable Hasbro Cops collection, and most of the figures are complete. Pretty much everybody on the stand is complete. I might be missing like a knife, I believe, and a couple other pieces, but for the most part, they're all complete. And then we've got some of the vehicles and the drivers of the vehicles there. All the vehicles here are complete, so everyone down here is complete, except for the helicopter, as you see it standing next to Apes there. The helicopter, I'm missing the front guns, little front guns there that plugged in right there, and the police siren that went on the bottom of them. But other than that, it's there. I've got the pilot. I've got everything else. Earthworm Jim. Oh, I loved Earthworm Jim. And this was a figure that was a mystery for a long time, and we finally figured out that he was indeed a repaint. Somebody sculpted new teeth onto him and just basically repainted him. But whoever did it did a marvelous job because he looks great. And he has a great place in my collection. So Earthworm Jim figures are a lot of fun, but they're fragile. Like all these little necks for the Earthworm Jims that pop out, if you drop them on the floor, or Psycho, or if any of these fall on the floor, you might as well go buy a new one. The guns, the figures, everything is fragile. Just fragile as hell. Tonka's Rock Lords, which went along with their GoBots, which, as you see, I have one Jewel Lord, and then I have the really hard to find Jewel Lord sword, the leader of the Jewel Lords. But my Rock Lords collection, which I believe everybody has a weapon except for, I believe, Tombstone back there. I believe that's it. Brimstone. Brimstone doesn't have his little sword thing, but everybody else got weapons, including I found a different colored weapon for Boulder, which was interesting there. The little black one, as opposed to the red one he was packaged with. I think the black ones might have been overseas, possibly. And of course the hero vehicle and Rock Gnarlies and the dinosaur Rock Lords, which were fun, 2 of them. My small but respectable mask collection, I got a lot of these in an auction 2 summers ago now, and they were a lot of fun to find at the auction. But and then everything else is I've kind of pieced together over the last couple of years or so. We're going to go back this way, and then we're going to go down like this. Ready? Oh, shoo. So down here I've got the Dick Tracy figures, and my stepladder, my trusty stepladder that helps me. Dick Tracy figures from Playmates, as well as the cars. The cars are hard to find. Like, I don't have blanks, so I can't say they're complete. One of these days I'll find a blank figure for affordable, but the 2 cars are beautiful. They're a beautiful piece of machinery. Visionaries. You see the Visionary holograms there. One of them. There we go. The Visionaries figures, which were great. Oh, there you go. There's a good... As you can see, like the canopy there. If I go this way, you can tell they built the hologram into the plastic itself. So you can actually see the hologram there is inside the plastic, and it covers the driver. See, if I move away, if I move just right, you can see it, which is pretty darn neat. I didn't realize that until just a couple years ago when I started collecting this line and realized, oh, the canopy's got a hologram built into it. That's awesome. But my my Visionaries figures, which I'm missing one vehicle and driver, but everybody else is here and complete. He fell down. I'm not going to stand him up. They're most of them are in need of new bands so they can stand up a little better. But a great line. I love that line from Hasbro. It's a beautiful line. My few Cadillacs and Dinosaurs figures, including the Cadillac itself. Oh, the windshield is come undone here. Let's just try to fix. There we go. My Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I've got a pretty decent collection of the Kinner Mask movie figures, including the car, which is pretty ridiculous, but another goofy line that I've started to find for cheap and just buy. Beetlejuice. I've got a number of Beetlejuice figures, which are fun. I love that line. It's another great Kinner line. Really goofy, but a lot of fun. And hard to find. Like the heads and the beasts for that line, here we're going to move over a little bit, are really, really hard to find. We've got some Starcom vehicles. So of the play set and just a bunch of the vehicles. Some complete, some not. Like I'm missing the guns for the platform there. My Power Lords collection, which I have all of the Power Lords characters that came out, the figures. I don't have Disguisor's weapon. I don't have Torque's weapon. I don't have Drench's backpack. Everyone else is 100% complete, which is a big, hard feat to do with this line because everything is fragile. And then next to it, thanks to my buddy Ryan Lanston, is quite possibly one of the coolest playsets of all time, the Vulcan Rock playset from Power Lords, and one of the rarest playsets of the 80s, period. Not complete. I'm missing a couple chunks. The main structure and everything inside, the elevator and everything inside is there and works. So it's a beautiful, beautiful playset though. I've got the Worlds of Wonder, the action figure sized airship from Teddy Ruxpin. As you can see, the balloon's kind of deflated, but it's missing chunks. I'm missing wheels and I'm missing the back, and there's a couple pieces broken, but found this at a Toy Man last year and picked it up for relatively cheap. So, as well as a lot of the figures came with it. So I was happy to get that. Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future carrying case there, which is pretty darn cool and huge, as you can see how big it is standing next to Vulcan Rock. It's a big carrying case because I think it was big enough to carry the figures and the Power On Energizer. And then down here, the really cheesy Hasbro James Bond Jr. line. I'm missing a vehicle and I'm missing Jaws from this line, but everyone else is here loose and complete. Horrible line, and I love it so much. It's so great and so bad. Especially IQ down here, like his little coat, it's just like this cheap plastic thing and it doesn't fit right. It's so god awful. It's so horrible. We're gonna switch over scenes here and let's carry on. All right, so starting up here, I've got a box talking Pee Wee Herman, which is great, as well as Cherry. Cherry's hanging out back there, and a number of late 60s and mid 70s figures here. Like the $1 Million Man, or the $6 Million Man, and as well as his parts of his little one of his play sets. All of my McFarlane Spawn stuff from the play set to just, I've got a buttload of them that I really shouldn't have. I have a ton of them, which is pretty awful. Here, we're gonna move over this way a little bit. My puzzle, my 3D puzzle vehicle Voltron, which they're pretty tough to find but fun to put together. And then I've got some BattleTech stuff and a few Shadowcat items like the bust there and the Marvel Universe figure. And this actually is a Fisher-Price cat mold. This is actually a toy mold. I don't know if you can see in there very well, but there you can see the sculpting in there. This was a mold for the Fisher-Price family cat, which is kind of cool. And my talking Terminator 2, as well as I have a boxed but open Princess of Power Enchanta. So that's pretty darn neat. Let's move down to the shelves below. All right, so we come to quite a large collection of my Get Along Gang stuff, which is a license and a cartoon that I don't think a lot of people really either remember or recall that well, but it was a great little early 80s cartoon. They made a lot of product, as you can see from the Porsche Porcupine and the Dottie Dog and the Wilma Lamb mugs. I mean, they're just a lot of fun stuff. A lot of cool stuff that they made for that. We'll shoot down here. I got a little collection of gargoyles going on here. I'm missing Hudson, and I'm missing the vehicles, but that's pretty much, well, and there's one figure from the second series that was like the Techno Organic line, That's actually a major character that I'm missing. But that's pretty much everybody, other than repaints, which I don't really care that much about the repaints. But that's another fun line. It's a great, cool line. Pirates of Dark Water, yeah. That's everybody. That's all the figures and the ship. Although I'm missing a couple pieces from the ship, but that's okay. It's still a very hard piece to find and a very cool piece to have. I do love me some Pirates of Dark Water figures. I mean, come on. You know how long it took me to find a Ren that had both swords? I had to buy one on card to open him to get both swords. The swords and the weapons for these figures are stupid hard to find. Down here we've got the Flintstone Kids and the Flintstone movie and these great old, I believe, Ertl made these. Irwin made these. These little posable tiny action figures. They're made of hard plastic. I guarantee you if you dropped them, they would smash into 1,000 pieces, which is why they're not that far up off of the ground to begin with. But Barney's little car, and I need the Flintstone mobile, though. They do make a Flintstone mobile for those characters. But I love the Flintstone Kid stuff. It's it's so adorable and so crazy. And then, of course, all the Flintstone movie stuff that I have. I've got quite a bit of it still. And down here is the Bedrock Elementary School from the Flintstone Kids. I believe it's pretty much complete. I think it's missing a piece. And then I got a talking Fred Flintstone hiding back here from the movie, from John Goodman as Fred. I haven't put batteries in him to try him yet, but I think he still works, or at least he should. Oh, my bugs fell. But some Looney Tunes, some over-the-top Sylvester Stallone movie. One really hard figure to find, and one not terribly hard figure to find. The Sylvester Stallone one isn't hard to come across. The Chipmunks, the Chipmunk van with Dave Seville, and my little posable Chloe, the Chipmunks, and the wind-ups. I'm missing one wind-up for the Chipettes. I believe Jeanette, the one with glasses. I can never remember the Chipettes' names, but all the wind-ups work, and they all are functioning. Jeanette seems to be the hardest one to find functioning, at least for the Chipmunks. And then there's Uncle Harry, who was a character they didn't ever really use, but they made a wind-up of him, and I'm not sure what he does. Swamp Thing. Oh, I love Kinder Swamp Thing line. This is the entire line. This is it. A play set, 3 vehicles, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 figures? Yeah, 13 figures. So, I mean, fun line. Kinder always made some very interesting lines, and of course there was always the rumor that this Swamp Thing here was to be used in the Superpowers line. While that's not entirely true, it was supposed to be supposed to appear in the Superpowers line, and I think they may have used the used some sculpting that they had done for it, or at least used the ideas for it. But just the Swamp Thing line in general is just a fun line. I mean, you got one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Swamp Thing figures, which made up a chunk of the line. And most of the second series was Swamp Thing figures. It was this Swamp Thing figure, and let's see, this Swamp Thing figure, and those were the 2 that were in the second wave, and everybody else was in the first wave. But a great line, and that little piece right there, the little green piece, yeah, hard piece to find. Honestly, the only way I've seen one is buying him on card. All the loose ones are always missing that little piece because he doesn't hold it very well, and it just looks like a random piece of plastic. Down here, one of Hasbro's great 80 lines that did not last long is the Inhumanoids. This is another complete line, a complete series of figures that I have, from the Trapeur to all the hero characters here, from Liquidator and Augur, and all the Redlands and the Granites, and all the big beasts, from Decompose to Metlar to Tendril. It's just a seriously a cool line. And these figures are getting harder and harder to find, especially the big guys here. Metlar's head constantly breaks off from the next snap. Tendril, a lot of times, there's a long Tendril. There's a long Tendril and a short Tendril here. A lot of times the long ones are broken, and I've got the long one there. And then Decompose just does not hold together well. But it is a very cool 80s line that I'm sad that we never got to see get finished, which kind of sucks. I've never really shown these down here, but I do have a rather large collection of VHS tapes. And as you can see, they're mostly licensed stuff from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the X-Men Adventure, Popples, Peppermint Rose, Rainbow Bright stuff, Care Bears, The World of Sid and Marty Krofft, the entire series of H.R. Puffin stuff, Turtles, Pride of the X-Men, which was always one of my favorites growing up. And then as you can see, I've been finding more and more and collecting more and more vintage VHS tapes, just because. I've got a lot of old wrestling tapes too. Before WWE, then WWF Home Video started putting out DVDs, they released some really cool VHS tapes, and I got probably just about everything they released. And then over here we've got, Challenge of the GoBots and Captain Power and the Coming Out of Our Shells tour. Yes, it is awful and wonderful. Battletoads and Rambo are down here. Captain in the Game Master. Still sealed. How to score more points on Nintendo games. Look at that. Look at this sucker. Yeah. Simon's Quest, Blaster Master, Double Dragon, WrestleMania, Town and Country. Town and Country Surf Design. Still sealed. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my VHS tapes continue to grow and grow. Down here, we've got some more vintage My Little Pony stuff, including the box. So we've got Baby Bonnet and her School of Dance complete. So that's everything for Baby Bonnet there. We've got the My Little Pony Pretty Parlor, which is kind of cool in her box. So, and I've got it all complete. And then I've got Dream Castle, which was one of the first big My Little Pony play sets in the home for the ponies in the cartoon until it got destroyed by the Smoos in the movie, and then they got Paradise Estate. But that is all complete, and Spike is hiding in there somewhere. Is little Spike. He used to be poking out one of the windows, but I think he's fallen out somewhere. He's in the castle, hiding it now at some point. And then I've got the My Little Pony show stable, as well as some extra little animals. So the little dogs that came with the show stable, a duck. I don't remember what the duck came with, but I found the duck and kept it. Back behind there, I've got the Real Men cheerleader roller skater, which they were these little finger puppets that you put your fingers, like with the cheerleader, you put the fingers through her legs and your fingers became her legs. You put skates and stuff on there. It was an interesting line. I've got some soccer players too that are pretty kooky. Let's look at the first section here. On top, I've got all of my 2000X series Masters of the Universe figures, both from, I think I've got pretty much almost the entire regular release wave. I didn't get any of the repaints or the redecos, but pretty much everybody. I might be missing one or two, and then the Castle Grayskull there with Buzz Off. Check out Buzz Off. Then the Lino, the Bandai Classics, awful line of toys that Bandai screwed up horribly. I do have a Lino from that line that I kept. Down below, we get some great classic Power Rangers, from the gold and black Megazord, which is tough to find, to the original Pink Ranger, to some great 70s and 80s toys, some 90s stuff like the Alien vs. Predator stuff, the Aliens, some of the vehicles back here for Aliens, some of the Space Marines there. Great line. Another wonderful line from Kenner. Rocks and Bugs and Things. Yeah, I love some Rocks and Bugs and Things with some of my buddy John Kent's Mortal reissues. Toyfinity makes the Mortals, and they've made a ton of different colors. And as you can see, I've got a ton of different ones there, from glow in the dark to these awesome black ones here. So cool. Down below, I've got Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, and some Computer Warriors stuff. The Photon figure 2-pack, which is kind of tough to find. It's a tough one to find complete, and I actually bought this boxed and opened it and played with it and played around with it, and they do still fire at one another, which is awesome. The Goonies Copper Bones 1-to-1 scale replica from Mezco from years ago, from 2007. That was the year I got married, 2007. That was a long time ago. And then down below, I've got a shelf full of Sailor Moon stuff from the classic anime, including a bunch of Gashapon little figurines that you could build, as well as the SH Figuarts figures of Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars, and Sailor Venus. I don't have Sailor Jupiter. I never did get Jupiter. I'm very sad. And then just a bunch of oddball Sailor Moon stuff. Some of the stuff's hard to find. From the locket to the wand. These carded figures that are back here, there were a couple of them. There was a Serena in her bedroom, and then the Princess Serenity one, which I have one loose too, but those were tough to find. I found those at like K's Merchandise years and years and years and years ago. I've got some WWE stuff and just some oddball. There's a Jetsons model that has fallen over there that I still have never picked up to this day, but some old Hasbro WWF figures, which eventually there will be. And my buddy Dave Gall, there's a little bootleg tiny PVC Hulk Hogan down there from the line too. My buddy Dave Gall gave me that. But and some LJN WWF figures from the big Hulk Hogan down to the bendy wrestlers. So some cool stuff. Let's move on to the other racks here. All right, going on to the other shelves here is my vintage Masters of the Universe shelf. Castle Grayskull with Ram Man and Battle Armor He-Man and Man at Arms up there, from the Wind Raider to the Fright Zone, which I actually have a very mint puppet for my Fright Zone, which is kind of cool. And then I've just got a ton of figures there. They're all kind of hide behind one another. I haven't quite figured out a good way or a good place to display everyone, but I got some fun stuff there. I still need parts, like I need Mechanix armor and his weapon. I need Evil Lynn's weapon. There's still a few figures in here that I need to complete, but moving down is not only is it Pee-wee's Playhouse back here with Dave Coulier from Full House, Uncle Joey, or Uncle Jesse. No, Uncle Joey. Uncle Jesse was yeah. But Pee-wee's Playhouse with some of the figures and the great line of stuff from Matchbox. But I've got some gym dolls hanging out there too, only because I don't have anywhere else to go with them, so they just kind of hang out. I don't know if you could tell, but I strung up rope lights on the next three racks here, and they kind of go. I strung them down and around, and as you can see, they go behind and kind of illuminate these shelves a little more. So when I have company, when I have people come over and I want to show off the collection, I just plug the lights in, and it gives all the shelves a little bit more light so you can see stuff. I got Steve Scout down here, which my buddy Dave Draper bought for me. Duke the Dog, both from Kenner. Some more fun Kenner stuff from the 70s. As well as Milky, the marvelous milking cow, one of my favorite pieces of all time. Still haven't fixed her moo. She's got a moo box inside of her that when she was full with water, her head would kick back and she'd moo, but it was just one of those old, like, cheesy boxes you could flip up and down. That's all it was. And unfortunately, the ones that were inside her and the other one I have had rotted away. So one of these days I'll buy a new moo box and put it in there and completely fix her. But with her little play mat, which is kind of hard to find, and her milking can there, and her trough for her water. I got an Alf toothbrush, electronic toothbrush, mainly because I didn't have anywhere else to put Alf, so Alf gets on this shelf. But complete, a little dirty, a little beat up, but you know, it's an Alf, and it's an Alf toothbrush, for God's sake. It's pretty spectacular, and he deserves a place in the collection. Place of prominence next to Milky, the marvelous milking cow. I got some Batman stuff. I gotta bend down here a little bit, guys. I'm getting old, fellas. I'm getting old, gang. But I've got the Toy Biz Batcave, as well as some great Batman the Animated Series figures, and some Kenner Batman figures there from the movies and the Toy Biz stuff. Batman Returns cereal box, which is fun. The Superpowers Batmobile, the Toy Biz Batwing, the Toy Biz Batmobile, another Batman, the Batman movie cereal box, as well as a carded Ertl. And then back there hiding is a Superpowers collection carrying case, with actually has a bunch of Superpowers figures in it, because I didn't want to display them anywhere right now. Down below I've got some RoboForce stuff. RoboForce is a great line. I need to finish it up one of these days. I need the playset, and I need a few more of the characters and some weapons, as well as the little RoboForce figures down there are the Toyfinity RoboForce releases from my buddy John Kent. So some really cool stuff like the Red 100 there. And I need a new Max one of these days, because you can see my Max is a little worse for wear there. He's missing his chest piece. He's kind of beat up, but I've got his weapons. But I need a new Max one of these days. But a fun line from Ideal was RoboForce. Let's move over here. We'll zip up here. The GoBots. People make fun of me for the GoBots. They make jokes, but I love me some GoBots. From the command center to thruster back there, the carrying case, and actually the carrying case is sitting on a box that was the Montgomery Ward's gift book. So it's got the box that you would get from Montgomery Ward's, and then that carrying case was in it, and it's still sealed. So I love the My First Cycle figure from the 80s. I found him in a bin at a Goodwill outlet store, and his arm is broke, but he in one of his the other handlebar there, as you could tell, is gone, but he's made of really cheap, flimsy plastic. I fixed his other arm the best I could. but he still displays nicely, and he's still really, really cool. But then I've got, you know, the regular GoBots from Cykill and Crasher to Leader One and Turbo and Scooter and some of the hero characters there. So I love GoBots. Some Body Wars stuff, which was this. There's another one over here, which is this oddball Mighty Max kind of rip-off stuff from Toy Max. There was quite a few Body Wars items that were released, but these are some of the more oddball stuff, like the this one, the Sergeant Battle Breath and the Laser Lung versus the Air Scares. And then this other one was Sergeant Gastro Growler and the Digo Destroyer versus the Flu Bugs. So very cool stuff, man. I got a big collection of Strawberry Shortcake vintage stuff, especially. Pretty much everyone's complete with their dolls and their combs. I think I'm missing a couple pets for everyone. From the, you know, I've got a lot of the vintage Strawberry Shortcake stuff. So, and in pretty good condition too. I've been lucky to find a lot of it in really nice condition, and really sweet. This garden center back here came from my friend Tracy Ann. She actually had it as a child, and I bought it from her, because I was like, I will buy that, and it will go in my collection. It will be wonderful. I got some crash test dummies from Tyco, yes. From the stunt plane. I've got the student dummy car, the crash dummy car. I've got quite a bit of crash dummy stuff. Another line that I didn't expect to start collecting, and I went down the rabbit hole and found all of this relatively cheap, and I was like, well, I guess I'm collecting crash dummies now, because they're kind of cool. Never had any when I was a kid. These were out late 80s, mid 90s-ish. I think I had a couple of the figures, but I didn't have any of the vehicles or anything, but I always thought they were really cool. And they're still really cool today, man. You crash those cars into a wall, oh, buddy, there's some damage that can be done. It's fun. Down below, I've got this really cool, eclectic, interesting collection of not only Strawberry Shortcake minis back here, as well as a mini carrying case. I've got a ton of minis, but I've also got all of these Mr. Potato Head and Kids figures from Hasbro. Of course, Mr. Potato Head, I've got the one of the original Mr. Potato Heads hiding back here. Not the original one. The original one, you would have stuck the pieces onto an actual potato. But this was one of the later releases from that early era of them, where they came with parts back there. But I've got the schoolhouse, I've got the clubhouse there, all complete. I've got all of these different great Potato Head Kids characters, all complete. It's a fun line, but some of them are tough to find, where the rubber hasn't started to mold on itself. Like, it's started to rot out a little bit and get sticky. But still, man, cool stuff. Cool line. And then down below on the bottom shelf, I've got some robotic stuff, which was a great Milton Bradley line, where, you know, everything, you could build everything, and a lot of it was, all of it was battery powered. So you had batteries, you could put them all, and they would roll or they would walk. Only problem is, over the years, the plastic on the parts gets very brittle. Now, they still make robotics today, but it's not Milton Bradley. It's from a different company, and it's made mostly for schools. It's they're made for schools and school districts to use in, like, science classes and stuff like that, to build robots. So very cool stuff. Legions of Power, which was another great, another cool line that you could build. And a lot of these are battery powered. Some aren't. Like the little jet here is not, but all of the pieces here are all battery powered. They have battery packs in them that I had got to work at one point. Some of them worked, some of them didn't work as good, but they would roll along, and the missiles would move back there behind, or guns would move and stuff like that. So, and they had these little bitty tiny figures that came with them. Teeny tiny little figures. Little bitty guys. So I see those pop up in action figure identification groups all the time, and it's like, oh, those are Legions of Power figures. Moving on to one of the last racks here. I got a ton of Transformer stuff, and I'm not much of a Transformer guy, but since I grew up in the 80s with Transformers and they were big, I've got a lot of them from the I want to say it's the Korean reissue of Brave Fort Max, to the you can't really see it, but the Transformers Activity Center is back there, boxed and complete. I've got some great Masterpiece from Quake Wave, which was the great third-party Shockwave, to Starscream, and the first release Optimus Prime from Hasbro, and Soundwave, and the first release Megatron, which we're getting another Megatron, which is much better, but I'll hold on to my first release because I've got a soft spot in my heart for it. Grimlock, a lot of the cassettes, Bumblebee, and Spike, and then some of the more recent stuff, like the Combiner Wars and Titans Returns figures from the last couple of years. one of my favorite newer toy lines that they've done. I love the Titan Return stuff. I love Little Wheelie. Look at Little Wheelie. Come on, he's awesome. He's friggin' neat. And we've got my vintage line. Now, a lot of my vintage Transformers are a mix. Like the Power Master Optimus Prime back here is a reissue. A lot of these are vintage. Ultra Magnus is a reissue. Blaster's a reissue, but everyone else there is new. A lot of the Autobot cars and Decepticon planes I have are all reissues. Optimus and Megatron here are reissues. But pretty much a lot of it is still vintage originals. So there was a time when Takara was releasing these bookshelf-style editions of all the Transformer characters from the first couple years in the early 2000s, and I bought all of them, including this Megatron, who does still fire his little pellets. He is a import from Japan, so it's a very neat toy. And down here, I've got some of my Transformers the Animated Series stuff, Transformers Prime, the Bayverse, which is I like some of the Bayverse designs. I know a lot of people hate them, but there are some of them that I really do dig. I really do like. I think the movies just got progressively worse, but I do love some of the designs for the movie characters. They are well thought out in some places, and they are really cool. They're really busy looking, but I love Ironhide. I love Ratchet back there. I love the Megatron and Optimus. So I love a lot of those Bayverse figures. I'm knocking things down behind me. Then down below, I've got a whole bunch of Generations figures, which was the line before Combiner Wars and lasted for quite a while. They made a crap ton of really cool figures from from all different genres, from Beast Wars to Beast Machines to Generation 1 and Generation 2. Just some really cool stuff. I love the Generations line. I think it's amazing. And then I've got some more Generations, the Alternators, which is a great line, which were basically realistic cars that transformed into Transformers, and they're stupid hard to transform. All of them are stupid hard to transform. So I transformed them into robot mode and then left them. So I've got, and then down below is kind of my oddball stuff. I've got some more movie stuff down here. I've got a lot of this is like the Cybertron line, and I'm trying to think of what other lines are down here. It's been so long. My Unicron's down here because he's just so darn big. Then I've just got some random figures whether from Beast Wars or Animorphs down here in the front. So just kind of my oddball Transformer shelf, which is kind of cool. And then if you swing, there's the soccer players I was telling you about, the real men soccer players that don't have a home because there's no way to display them unless I buy mannequin hands, and then that's just weird. My boxed Legends of the Cthulhu the Great One from Warpo. Warpo Toys did that. It's a great figure. I've never unboxed him though because I love the box art for that. It's just gorgeous. And I got more kids books, man. I got Worlds of Wonder. I've got the show and play books there that are these books here. Those are the records and the strips. And then I've just got a crap ton of kids books, man. From little golden books to some hardbound stuff. All of these down here are all pretty much from here on are all book and record sets from the 70s and 80s. So I've got quite a bit of quite the collection of kids books, and as you can see, I've run out of room, so they've started to stack up. And then I was telling you about I've got some cake pans on display too, from Fred Flintstone to Smurfette to a Smurf. And I've got some more on the other side, but this was the Stack O lunch boxes I was telling you that I don't have any room to display. And they're all, I've got a ton of them, man, from this Kermit the Frog to the Flintstones movie one to this great WWF Superstars lunchbox, this soft bag lunchbox. I got some more cake pans over here, He-Man and Bumble Lion from Wuzzles and Optimus and a turtle. Just cool stuff, man. The Power Lords figures, and those are on the other side. I'll show you those in a second here. Actually, we'll scoot over because there's some stuff here, like my Rainbow Bright section, as well as some Anastasia and some Casper stuff, but a bunch of vintage Rainbow Bright and some of the newer stuff, but a lot of fun Rainbow Bright stuff there. And then, of course, I've got like my Sesame Street Live Grover. It was like they were almost like flags. They're on a little wooden pole, and you would hold them up in the crowd, and they just had a bunch of characters like Grover and Big Bird. Murky. Hey, Murky. Or actually, Lurky. Murky's up here. I'm sorry, Lurky. It's late, guys. I'm filming this super late. My Four Horsemen Power Lords figures, which I'm sad that they never finished getting us the rest of the characters. I'm super bummed that we never got those. I've got some signed Captain Power figures that are actually signed by the entire cast, which is kind of cool. These came from my buddy Brandon Clayton out of California. He found them at Fred & Sons. Big toy show they do there that's a permanent place, but found those for $10 a piece and grabbed them for me years and years ago. My Thundercats revamped Sword of Omens, and I've got the actual vintage Sword of Omens over there, as well as the 2000X Power Sword, the New Adventures Power Sword, some randomness hanging out there, Fats Flyer from Showbiz Pizza Place, and then some records that I've actually got, Strawberry Shortcake picture disc, and then my sealed My Little Pony soundtrack, which is cool. Some great She-Ra artwork, just some great artwork on the wall. Period here, some He-Man stuff, and I'm gonna try to get around here so you can see a lot of these. But I'm not a Hot Wheels collector, but I did end up with a crap ton of licensed Hot Wheels, as you can see, and those are all like Batman and Muppets and Angry Birds and Batman vs Super. There are some oddball stuff like the roller coaster cars and stuff, but the Ghostbusters and the Super Mario, and I've got a bunch of art here that's never gotten up. It's never gotten hung, unfortunately. So I'm very sad. One of these days it'll get hung up. But some glasses here. I've got some vintage collector glasses there. You can't really see them all, but that was the best way I could find to display them because we have so many. And then I've just got a bunch of them here that I just don't have home for. My Matchbox Parasites, which were cars and robots. Those were kind of cool. I think I'm only missing one or two of those, so that's a fun line. And then my NECA Stay Puft and my NECA Ghostbusters figures. I love that line. NECA, I still think, made the best Ghostbuster figures, period. So beautiful, beautiful line. Let's go back over to the other side here. All right, so this room's a little bit of a mess, but you can see behind the stack O Teddy Ruxpin outfits is all my boxed Brave Star figures. So all my boxed Brave Star stuff that I've got. There's a action figure of my wrestling persona Bing Westlake that my buddy Pixel Dan Erdley made for me years and years and years ago when I was wrestling. He made that Bing Westlake figure for me. I was a British golfer. So a little fun bit of trivia there that if you didn't know already. And then it starts my Little Mermaid collection with Prince and Banner and this great motion window there. I got some Little Mermaid VHS tapes there. Little Mermaid D because, well, for Devall, you know, that's how I roll. Little Mermaid 27x40 theatrical poster for the reissue, and then my Little Mermaid collection, which is very large, and it continues to grow to this day. I love this little piece. My buddy Adas Barone got that for me last Christmas. It was early Christmas, late birthday kind of gift, but he came to town to see me and Dave, and he gave us each one of those. I got Little Mermaid, and Dave got a pixelated Alan Grant from Jurassic Park from Super Nintendo version. So very cool little gift. The Legos, I mean, just tons. I've just got tons and tons of Little Mermaid stuff. And we keep finding stuff that I don't have, and it just, you know, it really does open your eyes to how much they licensed just about everything. Little Mermaid, everything Disney, you know, everything gets licensed, but the Little Mermaid, there's just so much. That was a gift for myself, Pixel Dan, Doug Turner, and Scott Clark all got a piece of this gold figurine we used for the opening of the original That New Toy Smell we did years ago, and Danny took the pieces and made these little shadow boxes for us. So I cherish that. It's a great little piece of our toy history online there. Some more Little Mermaid stuff, a picture of me with Ariel at the parks. Some more Little Mermaid stuff. Is it getting creepy yet? Oh yes, it's already been creepy. Oh yes, creepy. More Little Mermaid stuff. The desk is a mess, but more Little Mermaid stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, it just keeps going, man. I just keep finding stuff. I just keep coming across stuff, and I'm like, well, I gotta have that. And this is one of my favorite pieces here is the McDonald LED playset from Rimco, as well as all the McDonald Land figures in the train and everything. This set is complete minus the stilts that were for Ronald. I'm missing the stilts, and one of these days I'll find it. The swing was broken, but as you can see, I super glued a couple of washers to it. Works fine now. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to look nice when it's displayed. So a beautiful, beautiful play set for McDonald Land. And those are great figures. If you could ever track those down, they're really goofy, they're really simplistic, but they're beautiful, beautiful figures from the 70s, and they're beautifully done. So very cool stuff. Let's go back out into the main room. All right, last but not least, I'm going to show you the other two Disney cases in the room, but we'll start with what's on top. So we've got a Get Along Big Gang boxed Super Soda Shop, which my buddy Jeff May picked up for me about a year ago or so. My Beetlejuice Snake Mask, my Rose Petal Place Nastina boxed, all but one of the Herself the Elf figures boxed there. My Great GoBots Turnover Racer, which has never been used. It's this amazing, amazing piece from Ilko. Ilko made all kinds of crazy stuff like that, but that's such an awesome little piece of toy history there. My boxed Sesame Street intercom telephone set, battery powered. It does work. Carrie and I did try it out and test it. It was pretty cool. The Create Your Favorite Muppet with, what was it, Presto Fix Creative Systems. That's really from the mid to late 70s. And that's such an odd piece to have too. I'm not gonna. Usually, I take the doors off when we do these walkthroughs, but I didn't get a chance to. So I'm just gonna open. I'm gonna do one side, then open the other, and do the other side. But I've got some collector glasses up there. As you can see, some more great Disney items. And these shelves are mostly a lot of our other Disney smalls, the bigger stuff that won't fit. Some more figures, oddball stuff like like the Goofy bank back there. Some of our some carded stuff, and oddball stuff like the memo magnets from Chef Mickey. A lot of this stuff is like the ceramic stuff. So all the breakable stuff went in these cases because I was like, I don't want those falling off the shelf and breaking all of those. So those go in here because they're probably not going to fall anytime soon. Just a lot of great, like the Wonderful World of Disney pins there. Goofy Kush, a ton of stuff like the Snow White stuff, all the different Walt Disney World in California plates that are kind of cool, the Main Street Electrical Parade picture record, which is really tough to find. It's a really hard piece to find. Let's open this other side here. We're going to slide some glass without breaking anything. There we go. Let's look at the other side here. So some more cups there for you, from Flintstones to the Great Muppet Caper stuff. And then some more Disney stuff, from Cinderella to Wreck-It Ralph. Some Ilko figures like Goofy here. There's a Donald floating around here somewhere. Some more breakable stuff. I mean, seriously, all of that stuff is fragile and breakable. And every time I look at it, I'm scared it's going to fall. I love the Goofy as the turkey here. And I love these Disney characters. Those are actually chopsticks in that little teal container there. I don't know if they're licensed, but they're chopsticks, and it's pretty interesting. And down below we've got a lot of Goofy stuff because Carrie loves Goofy, but a lot of the Goofy stuff that we found. Some of the randomness from the parks, like there's a Disney Cookies box back there, which is super rare. A lot of fun oddball stuff, man. Some more Disney stuff like the Tobacconist at the Main Street USA and the Polynesian Resort matchboxes, which of course you can't find those anymore at the parks because they don't sell that stuff anymore, but you could at one time. Some Walt Disney World patches there. Just again, some great old Disney stuff. Another Walt Disney World plate back there. Some really cool stuff. And then move over here. Let's see if I can let's open this very slowly. Because sometimes there's some stuff that is poking aside that probably would fall. Some more cups up here. Big Al from the Country Bear Jamboree, and these great, these little buses. There's some Smurf buses. You would roll them along, and the Smurfs would get out the back there. They exit or enter the bus. They're kind of cool. There's a Disney one too on the other side, and from my understanding, both of those versions were recalled at one point because of small parts, because kids could swallow them. So I actually have both of them complete, which is kind of cool. But some more Disneyland cups, a lot of different various Disneyland cups, and then we get down here to the Muppets. Like I've got a bunch of carded Fisher-Price stick puppet Muppet figures, as well as the entire collection here in the front row of all the stick puppet figures with all their sticks. What's interesting is this little Rolf over here. He's kind of looking the other way. Oh no, he's kind of doing that because he's a little. This Rolf here is the one that I had when I was a kid. I've had him for years. It's one of the only few toys that I still own from a child that didn't get ruined in the Great Flood of 14th Street, as we like to call it, because our sewer backed up and destroyed everything. But this Ralph figure is one that I still had, and this is this is a newer one that I bought that looked perfect. But I wanted to keep my Ralph with my collection just because that's the one that I had as a kid. But some great Muppet PVCs and Fraggle Rock PVCs and just some great Muppet stuff in general. And then you move down to this side of the Looney Tunes section, which has some great Looney Tunes stuff, some great animated stuff. And then you get over to the Sesame Street and some more Looney Tunes stuff hiding over there. But a lot of cool little die-cast cars, Sesame Street cars, little finger puppets and such. And you come down and you've got some of our little Smurf collection. Carrie loves the Smurf. She loves anything cute. So Smurfs, as you can see, we've got a lot of Schleich Smurf PVCs, a lot of Snoopy stuff, some Popeye stuff there, some Flintstone stuff hiding over here in the corner. Just a lot of randomness as you get down farther. And you come down here. There's our Mattel Jack in the Box Bugs Bunny, who actually still has his ears. His ears are still intact, although they're very fragile. So that's why he sits in there like that, because very fragile. Crazy Ike's Build 'em, Bend 'em, Hang 'em Anywhere with licensed Fred Flintstone, which is a super kooky piece. And then a bunch of, we've got a bunch of Pez stuff here, some more Cookie Monster stuff, some more animal stuff. That there is the Bert and Ernie AM/FM radio. It's super crazy. We're going to open this other side here. Scoot this glass over. Reflection of the lights. Oh no. Okay, and then up here we've got our posable Sesame Street figures, which there was Big Bird, there was Ernie, there was Cookie Monster, and there was Oscar. I'm missing Oscar's lid, and there was a Grover. Grover was a bendy, and I have never found Grover, but there's the Disney one, the Disney bus I was telling about. So some fun, interesting stuff there. We've got some more Alvin and the Chipmunk stuff, as well as some more Muppet stuff here. Some very oddball Muppet stuff. I mean, again, we love the Muppets. Seriously, love the Muppets. And then the other side of the Looney Tunes shelf and the Sesame Street shelf, there's some great. These are all ceramic. So there's a Snuffleupagus, there's a Bert and Ernie back there, there's a Grover, there's a Cookie Monster, there's a Big Bird, there's an Oscar, there's a sign. We're missing a couple of these to complete this collection, but those are really hard to find. Really hard. And then down here we've got some more Looney Tunes stuff, some more Disney stuff, some more Disney baby stuff. And then the final shelf down here is just some more randomness, some more Muppets and some Sesame Street, some Flintstone stickers there, some really cool stuff. Well, there you go, guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. We'll see you next year, next Christmas, for an all-new walkthrough with Dave Draper's collection. Just imagine how that collection has grown in 2 years. Let me tell you what, it's already grown huge since last year's that we did. But check us out. Go to youtube.com/ToyWorldOrder. Hit subscribe. Mash the like button. Check us out on our sister site, youtube.com/BoardTheShow. And gang, have a happy holiday. Be safe out there. Be careful. Be merry. And have a wonderful holiday. And we will see you real soon. So until next time, guys, take care.